Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Just got done with our big meeting. It was really good. Great people there. And just today we did a little different. We do this, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year, where it's just kind of an open forum, not really like a town hall meeting, but it's just open mic, right? Anyone that has a question, anyone that wants to talk about what they're doing or what they know or what's going on, that kind of stuff, they can do it. And it went really well. I mean, at least the feedback I get, everyone likes that. Every once in a while, it's just the people are talking, and so it went really well. Learned a lot. I mean, I tell people all the time, if anything, you come to one of our meetings, the amount of knowledge, the combined knowledge in that room is always just amazing. You can almost always find someone that knows something about something that you're interested in. So if you're trying to do some kind of homestead prepping, whatever type of thing, and you kind of need some help with it, I assure you there's probably going to be someone there that knows what's going on, and they can help you out. So it's doing it that way where people could just come up and talk is always helpful. Some people had questions answered. There was some new people to homesteading and stuff. They just got their property, so they were asking questions about this or that. And so it was really good. The general consensus seems to be that we're getting into kind of those final stages of stuff. I know people always want a timeline. They always want to know, oh, well, how much longer is it? 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. But based on the things that are happening, there's just this general consensus amongst the people that I talk to that we're getting closer to that kind of final tipping point. And a lot of the stuff that's happening that seems really good is part of that. Some of these executive orders that are getting signed, there's some really shady stuff that's going on. This big, beautiful bill, where there's little things in that. It's like any of these big bills. There's a lot of good stuff, there's a lot of bad stuff. And most people kind of believe that, this push for more technology involved in controlling our lives, the pharmaceutical stuff, the mRNA, nanobot, self-replicating technology that's been given emergency approval under RFK Jr.'s, leadership, that kind of stuff. All that is becoming, it's more real, and it's serious, and it's happening. And I think when you compound it with all the stuff that's gone on for the last few years, the last several years, previous administrations, pandemic, all this kind of stuff, the American people are led to believe that it's separate administrations, that it's separate goals, that, there was Trump and then there was Biden, and he went off in a completely different direction, and then now Trump's back in power, and so we're going back this way, and really that is part of the illusion. That's part of the illusion that the direction of this ship is constantly changing based on who gets elected into office. The truth is that those are just little things on the outside that makes you think that there's a difference between the two parties, that there's this difference between these different leaders, and this bill versus that bill, or this executive action versus that one. And the truth is that the direction, the momentum that we're going is all in the same way. It's all in the same direction. And we are still going down that path of, digital currency takeover, digital identification takeover, AI in our life, controlling us all the way down to the molecular level. that kind of stuff has not changed. In fact, it's ramping up quite a bit. And there's people, it's not because, and I'm using the meeting today as an example. It's not because these people that come to the meeting and don't understand technologies, don't understand this. I mean, there's people in the meeting that today work actively, like they do coding and programming for companies that are doing this kind of stuff, that are developing these AI algorithms, that are developing banking systems. I mean, like I said, there's really knowledgeable people in this group. I'm not just saying like knowledgeable in how to grow tomatoes or how to build a solar system. There's people that are knowledgeable working in these industries, and so they're bringing that knowledge with them. So when we have these kind of open forums, some of these folks are able to get up and talk about this. This is what I'm doing. There's people in the military or previously in the military that's talking about things, explaining things that are much more. We had a retired military officer today that spoke for quite a bit of time. It's just, last time we had a guy, like I said, he works directly in a lot of these, developing these softwares and these algorithms and coding and all that kind of stuff. Works for a big company. There's a lot of knowledge there that's being shared, and all of them, the general consensus is that we're still going in kind of the same direction. And it's not because the room is full of Trump haters or anything like that. It's because they see that behind the backroom deals, the stuff that's really happening, the stuff that's really kind of shifting gears, it's kind of all the same stuff. We're all, it's just picking up speed. It's picking up momentum. It's like the direction is becoming more and more refined. And so when you see a lot of this stuff happening, you need to keep that in mind. It's not like, you hear regime changes and stuff like that. That's not really what's going on. It's still kind of the same people, still really kind of in charge of things. It's just they got to make it look like that you have a voice, that you are able to change the direction of your government. Who was it that said if voting actually changed things, they wouldn't let you do it? I can't remember who was that. It wasn't Mark Twain, I don't think. I don't remember. Someone will chime in the chat, in the comments, and tell us. And that's true. If voting really could truly change our system and change, the banking and change the oligarchs and the people that are really in charge, they wouldn't let us do it, right? They gotta let us. They gotta let us think that we're in charge. Let us think that we have some kind of freedom, so that we believe that now this half of the country can now relax because their guy's in charge, and then the next time the other half of the country will relax because their guy's in charge. All the while, each half hates the other half, and we're still just moving down the same direction. And they're getting, under the Biden administration, they had all the liberals in favor of what they're doing, and now under the Trump administration, they got all the conservatives in favor of what they're doing. And like I said, in the end, it's the same stuff. There's been so many things happen in the last 2 or 3 months that if they had happened under the Biden administration, conservatives would have just lost their minds. People don't like it when I say that. I know, the truth hurts sometimes. What can I say? But you need to be getting serious. Seriously getting ready. Because I think over the next 6 months, there's going to be a lot of major changes. A lot of things happening. I think there's very possibly some wars that's going to get bigger. This whole Russia-Ukraine thing is heating up instead of cooling down. Same thing with, Iran, Israel, and us. So don't let yourself kind of relax too much, folks. You need to keep pushing forward. Keep getting yourselves ready. If you're able to come out next month, it's the last Sunday of the month. I'll let you know closer to that, but it's the last Sunday of the month. If you want to make plans to try to get here, you can certainly go ahead and shoot me an email, and I'll get you some information if you think you might be able to make it next month. Because it'll be a good one. I already know what's going to happen, who the speaker is, and everything. It's going to be a good one. So, folks, get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.